Hello and welcome. I'm an expert in hotel AI with years of experience in modern hospitality operations, and I'm really pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. Today, we're going to dive into a challenge that honestly costs hotels millions every single year. And no, it's not about guest services or fancy amenities. It's about tax compliance and how AI is completely changing this high-stakes part of the business. You know, in most of business, we talk about taking calculated risks. Well, when it comes to hotel tax, you can just throw that idea out the window. This is a zero-error game. A tiny mistake here isn't just a small financial hit. Oh no, it can set off a whole chain reaction of fines, audits, and headaches. The pressure to be perfect is absolutely immense. So let's think about what's really happening behind that welcoming smile at the front desk. While you and I see this seamless, wonderful guest experience, there's this massive, incredibly complex financial engine humming away in the background. And one of its biggest, most persistent challenges? Taxes. For any major hotel or hotel group, this isn't just boring paperwork, it's a huge operational risk. And it gets complicated fast. I mean, just look at this. Every single time a guest checks out, their bill could potentially be looked at by the city, by the state, by the federal government, and maybe even a special tourism board. All of a sudden, that simple bill for a room and a meal becomes this tangled financial web with multiple masters to please. You get one little part wrong, and the whole thing can just fall apart. So, why is this web of rules so ridiculously tricky to navigate? Let's break it down, because as you're about to see, trying to handle this with manual spreadsheets and outdated software isn't just inefficient, it's a guaranteed recipe for disaster. It really is a constant juggling act. First off, you've got your local bed taxes, which can literally change from one side of the street to the other. Then, layered on top of that, you've got state sales taxes. And hey, if you're an international brand, you get to throw the entire complex world of value-added tax, or VAT, into the mix. Each one of these layers has its own rulebook, its own rates, and its own deadlines. It's a lot to keep track of. And it really all comes back to this one number. 4. 4 potential government bodies, 4 potential points of failure on every single guest bill. Now multiply that by hundreds of guests checking out every day, 365 days a year, and the risk just becomes astronomical. The complexity doesn't just add up, it multiplies. So let's just put the old way versus the new way side by side. For decades, the old way meant finance teams were manually punching numbers, referencing these static tax tables in their property management systems, and basically just crossing their fingers that the laws hadn't changed. It was slow and, of course, wide open to human error. The new way? It's a total game changer, shifting from high risk to absolute precision. Okay, so what actually happens when you slip up in this zero-error game? Well, the consequences are pretty severe. A miscalculation isn't some minor accounting oopsie. It is a direct hit to the hotel's bottom line and, just as importantly, to its reputation. Just imagine this. You undercalculate the tax on a bill by just a couple of dollars. The government doesn't just send a polite note asking for the difference. They come demanding it, along with some pretty crippling fines and interest that grows every single day. A tiny oversight can snowball into a massive financial problem, and it happens fast. But the danger cuts both ways. Let's say you overcalculate. Now, your room rates are suddenly higher than your competitors down the street for no good reason. You're losing bookings. And even worse, you're opening yourself up to potential lawsuits from guests who feel like they've been ripped off. It is a total lose-lose scenario. So this is where technology finally steps in to solve the problem. To deal with this incredibly high-stakes issue, modern hotels are turning to sophisticated AI-powered tax engines. You can think of it like having a super smart, always-on financial expert that's built right into the hotel's operating system, working 24/7 to get every single calculation perfect. So how does it actually work? Well, it's pretty seamless. First, the AI plugs right into the hotel's main systems, the front desk software, the restaurant's point of sale system, you name it. The second a transaction occurs, the AI instantly calculates the exact tax. But here's the crucial part. It then validates that calculation against a constantly updated database of tax laws for that specific street address. It's not just calculating, it's verifying everything in real time. And this, right here, is the real game changer. Tax laws aren't static. They change all the time, often with very little warning. An AI engine keeps itself updated automatically, so the hotel staff never has to worry about it. This is absolutely critical for those really tricky situations, like a big banquet or event, where the tax rules for a service charge versus a gratuity can be completely different depending on the city you're in. But this kind of technology does so much more than just crunch numbers correctly. It completely transforms the hotel's entire approach to tax compliance, giving the business a really powerful strategic advantage. Right, so a huge piece of this puzzle is what we call automated filing and remittance. The AI doesn't just tell you what you owe, it actually prepares the tax forms for you. And in many cases, it can even handle sending the electronic payments to all those different government agencies, making sure every last cent is accurate and paid right on time, every time. So when you add it all up, the advantages are just undeniable. You get a perfect audit-proof trail of every single transaction, you free up your talented finance team from hours of tedious manual work, and most importantly, you put up a powerful shield that protects the hotel's reputation and its bank account from costly errors and penalties. And really, this brings us to the ultimate goal, doesn't it? By automating this highly technical, high-risk part of the business, you give your leadership and your teams the freedom to focus on what they're truly passionate about, the reason they joined this industry in the first place, delivering exceptional hospitality and creating unforgettable experiences for guests. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. When technology can handle these complex risks with perfect precision, it frees up human talent to do amazing things. For all of you, the future leaders of the hotel industry, that means a renewed focus on creativity, on service, on passion. It's a chance to completely redefine what it means to be a host.